everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J, and in today's video I am finally testing out a foundation that I have told you guys that I have loved time and time again, and I keep saying I'm gonna test it out soon, and today is the day. As you all can tell by the title, it is the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Foundation. What a name, right? So I have two shades, so I'm excited to finally be doing this video for you guys because I've had this foundation since around the holiday season. So I have extensive experience with this foundation. I've worn it several times. It's been in several of my favorites videos, and so today I'm going to show you guys this foundation in action, and let's go over the details of it. So this is the box that it comes in, the standard Estee Lauder packaging, the blue box, and on the front it says that this is SPF 45 and this has 1.2 fluid ounces of product, or 35 milliliters, which is slightly above the standard 1 fluid ounce of products that we typically get in most foundation lines. Here is what the actual foundation looks like, and so I'll read you guys the description for this product, and it says on the back of the box that this is more than makeup. It rescues skin with soothing hydration and skin-loving ingredients. It includes probiotic technology, chia seed extracts, and ion-charged water. The skin is plump with moisture and has an instant radiant glow. Full coverage, lightweight formula immediately covers visible redness and diffuses the look of fine, dry lines. Pores and spots, looks flawless and smooth, stays color true. All day long wear, ophthalmologists and dermatologists tested. Shake well. Here's what the packaging looks like for the actual foundation. It does have a squeeze tube type bottle, but when you open it up, I was pleasantly surprised to see that there was a pump, because I really prefer pumps over everything else because I feel like you can control it the most. Plus, with this having the squeeze tube type top, you can cut it off to get the rest of it out. When you're done pumping and nothing else will come out, you can just scoop and scoop the rest of it out, so you can get every single drop of your foundation out of there if need be. So this foundation has 20 different colors, and I didn't know which color to pick at the counter, so I got one of the colors that I typically wear in the double wear foundation, which is 4-in-1, and that one is called Kel Belles. But then I also got another one because just looking at it, it looks closer to my complexion, and I just wasn't sure. So this one is 4W1 Honey Bronze. I didn't know if this was going to work because W almost always means red, because the W stands for warm, so you're going to get a reddish, more orangey undertone. And then with the other color, 4N1, N stands for neutral, and so I'm like, I don't know which one, so you'll see in a second. I think this is a good everyday type foundation, so I have it on now. As you all can see, I have coverage, but it doesn't look like I'm overly made up, but it also doesn't give me nothing. This foundation is suitable for all skin types, whether you have normal, dry, oily, or combination skin, which is the skin type that I fall into, combination. You can enjoy this foundation. It's a medium amount of coverage, so it gives you a little bit of something. So on a day-to-day basis, you can apply it. You can get a nice, good, medium amount of coverage, or if you want to build it up, you can. So let's see if this foundation is as radiant as it claims to be. Let's go ahead and jump into the demonstration portion, and then I will be wearing this foundation around for the rest of the day in the crib. So I'll check back in every so often and let you guys see the updates of it. So I hope that you all enjoy, and let me know if you all have gotten a chance to check out this foundation. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys what both of the colors look like that I have. I have 4W1, so let me squirt out just a little bit. You all can see that. This color definitely has a stronger golden undertone to it, and it's a little bit darker than the rest of my face, but it does match my body. I would say my body is about a 4W1 for sure. So then let me show you guys the color 4N1, which this one has more so of a neutral undertone, and I think this one is a closer match to my face right now, but it's a little bit grayer, and so it's not going to fully match my body. So you guys can see that. I feel like that one is just a little bit too neutral, but it's just a little bit lighter. You guys can see it's lighter than my body, and it's definitely lighter than 4W1, but I think 4W1 is just a little bit too dark right now for all over my face without having to do a lot of highlighting and stuff like that. Let me blend this out. So what I'm gonna do is go in primarily with 4W1, okay? And then add in just the smallest dots of 4N1, just a little bit, not even a full pump, probably less than half of a pump. And you guys, I'm gonna show you the color. Okay, you see that color, how it's so golden, and then that beige in the middle. Okay, so you can kind of see how the beigey one is not truly my color, but I'm gonna mix in just a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna pat it all over. And I feel like this is what's going to give me my truest color, because 4W1 is very golden, but I'm more so golden neutral. So 4N1 for me mixed in gives me the perfect undertone. So I'm just bouncing that all over the right side of my face to give me that beautiful glowy coverage that it gives. So I'm just taking my sponge that I love. This is the Kelsee Beauty sponge, and I'm just going all over my face to apply it evenly. Okay, so this is what 2 pumps of coverage looks like. Super pretty, very even. I still see my skin a little bit peeking through, but I like this finish. I think that it looks very glowy, and it looks like your skin, but better. It makes my skin look a little bit more radiant. And I really do like the way this looks in this color match and everything like that. If I were going to go in with just one though, I would go in with 4W1 over 4N1, because 4N1 is just too neutral by itself. So mixed together, it's giving me a really pretty color. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, but you can see how this side doesn't have as much color as this side, and how this side kind of balances me out. Beautiful coverage. I love the way that this looks. I don't feel like I need any more on the skin. I think that it looks very even, very glowy, very beautiful. And so it feels very lightweight, and I love this color match as I previously said. I think this looks very radiant, and it feels just super lightweight. So I like this a lot for everyday usage. So I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my makeup on top, and then I'll be right back, and you guys can see what everything looks like when my makeup is completed. And then of course I'm going to do a wear test. So stay tuned. So I got everything together. I think it all looks very beautiful, very radiant. I set everything with powder. I added some concealer underneath my eyes and set that with powder. And I went in with bronzer, blush, highlight, and the works. And I think that everything looks just really nice. I think that everything went on top very smoothly. And I love the way that my skin looks with this product on it. I feel like it's still very radiant. It is a dewier foundation. So sometimes when you go on top of that with powder, it can kind of mattify it too much, and it'll make something that's too dewy sometimes get like a cakey consistency. But my powders on top of this foundation do not do that. I feel like it sets down very nicely, and even though I set all over my face with powder, I don't feel like my skin looks dry. I don't feel like it looks heavy or anything like that. So I really like the way that this looks, and I'm going to continue wearing it around for the next 8 hours. Now I will go ahead and tell you, I don't have anywhere to go. I am in the house currently. We all know why. So I'm going to do things around the house, and I'll check back in every few hours and let you guys see the updates. So stay tuned. So it has been 3 hours, and I'm back to do my first check-in, and I think that my makeup looks really beautiful. This is my favorite stage of this foundation. I feel like it's kind of worn in a little bit. My oils have started to break through, and I feel like this is the peak prettiness of it, because it's still glowy, but it's still matte in all the right places, and I love the way that it looks around this time. I think that everything is still intact. I don't think anything has moved. I don't notice where any of the foundation has rubbed off on my face. So I still am really happy with how everything looks. Plus I feel like I look even more radiant than I did when I first applied it and set it and everything. So I really like the way that it looks at this current moment. So it wears well up until this point. All is good right now. So I'll check back in a few more hours and let you guys see the updates. So stay tuned. This forehead of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah. My forehead is very shiny at this point. It's been 7.5 hours, and I am back to do my next check-in for you all. So as you all can see, I've gotten a little bit more wear on my face. I feel like my makeup has broken down just a little bit more. I do feel like my skin is a lot more radiant than it was before. At this point, it's been about 7.5 to almost 8 hours of wear. So this is a normal reaction from my skin. I've had this on all day. I've gone walking today. I cooked dinner. I've done several things around the house. So this is about how my skin looks on average. So I'm not mad at it. I still think it looks presentable. I don't feel like any areas on my face have left the building. I think that everything is still there. It's not as fresh as it once looked, but after 7.5, almost 8 hours of wear, it's not really the norm for it to be anyways. So I still have a few more hours left in me. I'm still over there working. I'm trying to complete a few projects. So I'll check back in a few more hours and I'll let you guys see the final wear, and then I'll talk to you guys about my final thoughts about this foundation. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so I am back and I'm here for my final check-in. Currently it is 2:16 in the morning and I've had this foundation on for I don't even know how long at this point, because I don't remember exactly when I finished. But I know it's been a long time. It's been well over 9 hours for sure. It's probably been at least 10. But I'll have to roll it back and then I'll insert the final amount of hours here. But I really still like this foundation. It is extremely dewy at this point. It is time for me to take it off. I've had it on for a good amount of time. When I did my last check-in, it had already been on for 7.5 hours. So I just wanted to stretch the extra mile and let you guys see what it looks like if you have it on for a super long time throughout the day. And I know this is really important for those of you all who work long shifts or just have really long days in general. As you all can see, the foundation is still on. My face is very dewy, very oily looking. I still don't see anywhere where the foundation has left, so I can say that this foundation does last. It does not disappear, it does not fade away. I will say that the coverage lasts, and where I applied the foundation at the beginning of the day is still there at the end of the day. Now I do want to note that I have combination skin, so I do tend to get a little bit oilier in my T-zone area. Right now it is spring, so it's not super hot, it's not super cold. It's that middle ground where the weather is kind of perfect on a lot of days. So I didn't sweat today, so I don't have to take that into consideration right now. But for me having combination skin, I will say I would not wear this foundation on the hottest summer day, even though it does have SPF 45, because this foundation is very dewy. It is a hydrating foundation. For me, when it gets really hot outside, I need something with a little bit more staying power, something that's not as hydrating. But I've really been loving this foundation throughout the winter and the colder months because my skin was dehydrated. My skin was just a little bit drier. And so my skin had been loving this foundation and I still really like it. But as I inch into the warmer months, I don't see myself reaching for this foundation as much as I will when it gets back cold. So I do like it, but I do want to notate for those of you all who have oily skin, if you're looking for a new foundation, I probably wouldn't recommend this one for the upcoming seasons. But if you have drier skin, you will love this foundation. This foundation is amazing for drier skin because it is hydrating. It feels very moisturizing, but it's not heavy, and it gives you a nice amount of coverage that starts out at a medium amount of coverage and then it builds up to full coverage. Also, for my mature folks, your skin type is going to like this foundation too, as long as you're not super oily, for the same reasons as the dry skin people. It's because this foundation is going to give you that hydration that plumps it up. I really like this formulation. I know I can make it work. If I did want to wear it when it's a little bit hotter outside, I would definitely recommend wearing it with a primer. If you have very oily skin and you still want to wear it, again, prime your skin really well. Or if you want it to perform at its maximum potential, if you have super oily skin, definitely wait until the winter time and wear it with the primer oily skin peeps. But overall, I really like this foundation. I think it's a great formula. It does not oxidize. I like my color match. I can go with either one, but if I had to choose one, I would go with 4W1 because it's not very warm toned at all by traditional warm standards. So it's not orange or it's not red. It has a nice goldeny undertone to it. I think that color will match me a little bit better once I get a little tan, but I can definitely make it work now. But I love the formula. I think this foundation is done exceptionally well. Like I said, I've mentioned this foundation in my favorites video a couple of times and I really just think it's nice. So for an everyday type foundation that gives you just a little bit of coverage, this is going to be the one for me, especially when it gets a little bit cooler outside. But let me know your thoughts on this foundation down in the comment section. Have you gotten a chance to try it? What are your thoughts on it? Do you prefer a dewier foundation, or do you like to be more matte? This foundation would even be a good mixer foundation. So if you have a foundation that's just a little bit too matte for you, this foundation is so dewy that you can mix it in and it'll add a little bit more life. So that's always an option if you purchase this foundation and you find it to be just a little bit too dewy for your taste. So let me know your thoughts, and I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.